Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are 15 minutes away. I'm just trying to sort out this camera angle. We cannot quite see the full target. I've had a chat with the umpire. There is no hope of moving one sheet to the left or the right, so we will make do and mend. Thank you for joining us live on YouTube. We're also waiting to find out who will be the lead for Alan MacDougall's team. We've already discovered once in this tournament that Alan only knows who his lead will be after the practice. So this is Alan MacDougall's team's practice. So hopefully after this we will know. Could be Ben Fowler, and then again it could be Tom Yegi. Now let's have a look. Alright then, to begin the final, Alan MacDougall's team have won the hammer. This is Steve Amann's first stone. That's fine. Now, who's the lead for MacDougall's team? I think it's Tom. Oh, no, it's Ben Fowler. That looks okay. It's going to catch the first guard. That's all right. Ben Fowler's second stone of this, the first end. That should be us all in sync now. You join us live for the final of the National Men's Championship 2016, live from Dumfries Ice Bowl. Yes, it's an English tournament held in a Scottish venue. That's okay. Needs to stop. It's not going to stop. Every stone counts. This is a final, remember? Harry Mallows. Take out, I'd imagine. Yep. The first end is crucial. It's probably going to be a takeout end. Minimise the score, minimise the opportunity. If so, MacDougall would retain the hammer. Here's Andy Woolston now. Straight takeout. Just stays. Now if Greg Dunn asks Harry to take it out and stay, that would be the order. That would be the way to do it. The stone is away. Oh, that's okay. Both stones out of play, but it served a purpose. Andy Woolston's second stone now. Lovely. Stephen Hines doing exactly what was asked of him there. Andrew Reid now playing his first stone of this, the final. The first end in the final. It's all come down to this. It's over the hog, which is fine. That's fine. Sweepers are called off. Greg Dunn will try and sweep it behind the tee, but it wasn't really going anywhere. Straight takeout for Stephen Hines. Not a lot you can say about this end. The first end in any curling game is usually quite cagey. You don't want to give away too much. Straight takeout. Well played, Stephen Hines. Now, can you guess what the next shot could be? Once again, we apologise for this camera angle. We are working on it. Half a sheet seems to be cut off for some reason. We have been on this end in sort of previous days' competition. I'm just trying to find out what the problem is. Greg Dunn. It would be foolish to say both teams have shown good form, because if they didn't show good form, they wouldn't be in the final, but they really have. Straight takeout. That's fine. Alan MacDougall. I wonder, will this end be a blank end? Alan has the last done. I wouldn't put it past him. Tactically, probably the right thing to do. Looks okay. Now, will MacDougall take the blue away, and this end is put down on the scorecard as a blank end, or will Alan MacDougall take out the blue and stay for one? If he does the latter, if he takes the blue and stays for one, would it tactically be the right thing to do? I think the common rule of thumb is very simple. You lose a one, you win by two. That way, you know, you've always got one in the pocket. But we'll see. It's the blue, one yellow. No discussion. Doesn't need to be any discussion. On to the next end. Ben Fowler, centre-line guard. Tactically the right thing to do. Greg Dunn asking for a draw. He used his brush to pat the centre of the house. That's where he wants the stone to end up. I will argue to the end that there is still a curling novice out there who stumbled on this completely by accident. Steve Mann. As long as it doesn't... That's fine. That's absolutely fine. Needs to stop. I was going to say as long as it doesn't hog. It's different playing in a final. It really is. Anybody that says it's exactly the same is lying. There's a bit more pressure. Alan MacDougall wants rid of this blue. The shouting started in earnest. That's good. Greg acknowledges it. Having said that, it leaves the yellow open for Steve to take. Hackway. Oh, that's unlucky. Now Alan's just going to ask Andy to put the guard back in. Andy Woolston, the second player for Alan MacDougall's team. They've played together as a team for 6 years. Although it hasn't been irregular, you know, it's a tournament here, a tournament there. They managed to win this tournament for the past 4 or 5 years. Even they've lost count. A guard was called. That's almost a perfect guard. Needs to. That's fine. I was going to say needs to keep going, but look at where it's ended up. Greg has the hammer in this end. He's asked Harry to take the guard off. Sweepers have been called off. And back on again. It does make a difference. That's one away. Nearly 2. Alan's just going to probably put the guard back in. He might be rather sneaky and draw for 2. Doesn't want to take any risks in this. These first few ends. Just wants to settle the nerves. Don't forget, I mean, last year there wasn't a final because Alan MacDougall's team did not drop a game in the round robin, so there was no need. But this year, we have a final. Line looks good. That's fine. That's well played. But look at where it's ended up. Take out weight. There was barely time for me to cut to the camera angle. The stone really was released so quickly. Might roll. It's going to roll. That's well played. That's the shot of the end so far. Now, can Stephen Hines get to it? I would imagine so. I can build up all the suspense, but I'd imagine. Only nerves would prevent Stephen from missing this. Compared to Alan MacDougall's team, Greg Dunn's team, the rink that he has today in the final, haven't been playing together regularly almost at all. So this is much as a test for them. My goodness me. I just tried doing that shot again. Unfortunately, it hasn't stayed. To draw to the house. Just watch this gap again. Action replay. Oh. Back to live play. Unfortunately, Andrew Reid missed that. Stephen Hines now. Something's went wrong. Doesn't look like it's going to stop. The sweepers are, well, they've been called off. And that's why, unfortunately, into the front and out through the back door. Alan MacDougall's first stone. Of this, the second end. Not an especially heavy weight, which is okay as long as the line's all right. Yep, that's fine. Just a nice draw. If it tucks in behind, that'll be even better. Bury it. It's sort of half buried, isn't it? Still there for Greg to take, should he choose? I think so, looking at where the brush is. As I said in the last end, you don't want to give too many points away in the first few ends. Or indeed any end, but I mean especially the first few ends. Keep the game tight, disciplined. All the players have a job to do. And the players at the very top, you know, it's just another game. A team that doesn't play together that often versus a team that's virtually never played together in a final. This could get interesting about end 5 or 6. That's my prediction. It's going to be very tight until then. Greg Dunn's first stone needs to draw in a bit more. That's fine. Taps it back a touch. Now, unless my eyes are failing me after 3 days of commentating, could be the camera angle. Closer than you think, I must say. In either case, if Alan manages to tap the blue back, could potentially sit for 2. Certainly where the brush is. Might have got this. Yes, needs to keep going, needs the sweeper's help. Lovely. What a stone. I've said it before and I'll say it again. That's the job of a skip. The most technical shots, the most crucial time. Guts glory. If it was snooker, you'd call it a trick shot. That could be a crucial shot this end. It's given Greg something to think about. Time is flying by. The last stone in this end. Greg obviously doesn't see the gap to the right hand side as you look at it being beneficial, choosing to draw in from the left. Stone has been released. It's on your way into shot in the next sort of 8 to 10 seconds, depending on how heavy it is. I can't work out if Stephen Hines likes it or not. Oh, this is tight. Unlucky, Greg. 2 yellow. Yep. Averaging 10 minutes an end. Neither of these teams are in a rush, but it does take them a considerable amount of time to drive home. In fact, the majority of the other teams in the tournament are probably halfway down the motorway by now, but they will be watching this, hopefully, when they get home. Three sweepers on it. That's fine. I'm not sure looking at looking at Alan MacDougall's vice skip, if that was necessarily what was planned. It means Greg can take this if he chooses. It's not a positive start for Greg, but it's not as bad as it could have been. I played the British wheelchair tournament not too long ago against Korea. By end number 2, we were 8 down. It was a takeout game. So 3-zip after 2 ends, not as bad as it could have been, but you have to wonder. Greg Dunn has to score something just to get the confidence back up there. Ben Fowler has released the stone at some weight. It looks like a takeout. You'll hear the shouting any second now. Unless Alan MacDougall's decided to turn into a silent killer. Lovely. Takes that away. Sits for 2. Well played, Ben Fowler. I don't know, do you shout more if you don't think it's a positive shot, or you think it's a great shot? Personally, I just make noise just to put the other team off. It's not the tactical thing to do, but you have a set of lungs, use them. Steve the man is Greg Dunn's lead, and imagine he'd want to tuck in behind one of the yellows, so it's not a straight takeout. Now, choosing to go down the centre. Needs to stop. It isn't stopping. That's a mistake. Look at Greg's body language there. Thank goodness the cameras aren't facing from the front. Some of you may have been able to lip read, I don't know. Alan MacDougall sitting 2 up. Andy Woolston getting ready to take a stone. The first stone of this, the 3rd. There it is. Doesn't need to be a big weight. Just a nice draw. Wouldn't go amiss. Oh, for goodness sake, don't miss. I mean, that's, you know, that's the order of the day. Nothing else to hit but your own, as yet. Oh, that's what he's done. Drawn up to it. To sit for 3. That was a sort of a gentlemanly stroll there. I've mentioned in previous games that we've covered that involve Greg Dunn. He's a thinking man's player. He's like me, he thinks. Sometimes too much, I'd imagine, but all's not lost just yet. Harry Mallows now. That could be okay. That's fine. So far, not a lot you can say, really. That's all pretty self-explanatory. This is a takeout. Again, not enough time for me to change camera angle, because it's already halfway up the ice. Andy Woolston getting out some pent-out frustration. Too much, he's missed. That's unlucky. The gap always seems bigger when you miss. It's like putting a smart car in a disabled space. It always seems bigger. It's only when you get out and realise that you've got 2/3 of the space left. Harry Mallows with his second stone. Lying 1 at the moment, but I can't be sure. The camera angle is angled incorrectly. For some reason, the system could be haunted. That's okay. That's the shot. That's lovely. So now it's definitely 1 blue. Thank you for taking away my doubt, Harry Mallows. Andrew Reid would have to hit the guard first. Yep, it's another quick one. Shouting makes it quicker, I find. Let's have a look. Hit the wrong end of the guard. Wow. Costly for Alan MacDougall's team. It hasn't killed the game, but it's changed it ever so slightly. Greg, for goodness sake, guard. You can't hear me. He will only be able to sort of, as will Alan, will only be able to hear what I've said, usually when they're at home replaying it. Apparently it gets used in some sort of educational way. I imagine if that was the case, it would be on mute. Which is fine, you know. I'm just a fan, who am I, you know. Andrew Reid has taken a stone. This is now Stephen Hines. Been waved off immediately. Well, it hasn't been taken yet. I think Greg Dunn's changed his mind ever so slightly. Yep. Stephen's still there, going through his pre-shot ritual. Every curler has one. Some say a prayer, others have a drink. I mean, you know. Either or's fine, as long as it gets there. Guard, I'd imagine, needs to stop. It's going to just curl the wrong end. Through the gap. It's left more for Alan to hit. Andrew Reid. Now you'd imagine maybe hit one of these, take it away, looking a shot ahead. If Greg decides to ask Stephen to take it and say, I mean, it's a different game, right? Different end. We went from take-out ends to drawing ends. A few mistakes have been made so far. I mean, it's all a bit up in the air. Straight take-out, needs to catch something. That's 1 away. That's 2 away. Fabulous. Well played, Andrew Reid. Now, you'd imagine that, you know, the shot, yeah, take away the yellow, sit for 2. Let's see if we can get to the camera angle. Yep, Stephen Hines is still going through his pre-shot ritual. Yes, every curler has one. Every single one in every discipline. Wheelchair curling, able-bodied curling, male curling, female curling, just the whole sport. Everybody has a pre-shot ritual. I cannot see because of Greg's orange sweater. That's got it. Lovely. Sit for 2. What do you think's coming next? What do you think? Remember, Greg has the hammer in this end. That's take-out weight. Obviously, but I mean, that really is take-out weight. With shouting. He's got 1, got 2. Very well played. Now sitting 3 up. That could be a body blow to Greg Dunn. Could be. Actually, it probably is. As much as I'm trying to build up the suspense and remain positive, you've went from 2 up to 3 down in the space of 1 shot. Let's see if we can pick anything up from Greg's body language. Just collecting his slider. Not an especially heavy weight. Doesn't need to be. I mean, even if Greg can bury this somewhere, which is what he's trying to do. It's on line. Has it got the legs? Not quite. Second shot so far. Not a bad effort with 1 stone to play. I like that. Andrew Reid has given Alan MacDougall 3 possible outcomes there. Tapped his brush in 3 possible areas where he would like the stone to end up. A fool's paradise would be if it didn't end up in any of those 3 spots. Just roughly. Those are the 3 spots that he patted his brush. That's where he wants the stone to end up. Now the target is a much broader one. I think that's going to go straight through, you know. That's unlucky. That's a fool's paradise. Of the 3 areas, didn't hit one of them. That's unlucky, but it's okay. All is not lost. 1 for sure. One down for sure. That's okay. That falls within the curling sort of curling 101. Give away a 1. Win by 2 per end. Unless Greg was to tap his own blue. I mean, that's what they're looking at. Is Lady Luck on the side of Greg Dunn today? It's part luck, part psychology, part skill. It's so much more than just chess on ice. Every action has a reaction. Every stone means something. Stone has been released. Greg Dunn's final stone of this, the 3rd end. Let's see. Looks okay. Slowing now. That's exactly what he's done. He's went to tap his own, but no, he's binned it. Take the 1, move on. Only Greg will know if he threw that shot, as in threw it away, or threw it. You know. It wouldn't be professional of me to ask him. So I'm not going to. 3-1 after 3 ends. So far, MacDougall's team, the damage. 1 in the first, 2 in the second. Here's Stevie Mann's first stone in the 4th end. Oh, hang on a minute. I got the score incorrect. That's my 1 slip-up of the tournament done. If there was a blooper reel, that would be on it. The amended scoreline, Alan MacDougall's team 4, Greg Dunn's team nothing as yet. It's unprofessional of me to say nil, as it's not football. I've been told by commentary buffs, people who know. Ben Fowler. That was meant to be a takeout. I can't tell if that means that Greg's happy with it or not. It's sort of shrugged his shoulders. Look at this. That's all right. It just needs to keep going. Has it got the legs? Just about. Not quite. Alan MacDougall's team still line 1 at the moment. Line's good. The shouting has begun. Apologise for his language there. That's the pitfalls of a final for you. Harry Mallows, the second player for Greg Dunn. Oh, hello. Hang about. That's all right. That's okay. I say that's okay, but it has left it for Alan MacDougall. There we go. Yep. Now, Alan MacDougall has the sort of voice that you sort of hear in an opera. If he wasn't a curler, if he wasn't based all around the country, you could put that scream to good use. The the hit and hope shot has been called, although I don't think it's at all necessary. Yeah. Just. I must also say, while discussion is going on, I have no alliance to any team that's played in this tournament. It's purely my job to call it fair and square down the middle. But whilst each team has a shot, I could point out tactics they may use. That's fine. Take blue. It's a far easier shot than what Alan was asking Andy to do. Yes, that's in. That's good. Takes it away. Serves a purpose, but not the ideal shot. Because the blue is closer to the centre than the yellow on the left-hand side as you look at it. Although it may not be for much longer. Let's have a look. Harry Mallows giving the shot some gusto, has to be said. Unlucky once again, but it's opened the gap up. I wouldn't be surprised if Alan puts a guard in somewhere. Surely, oh my goodness. This is the end where Alan MacDougall's team makes a move. Rather than put the guard in, I think they're going to try and take a blue. I think he's going to go for it, you know. If it goes wrong, on Alan's head be it. That's why his name's on the team. Skips take ultimate responsibility. You have to do what the skip asks. There we go. There's the shouting. It's one away. And it stayed. Just out there. Yes, whatever the skip says you do, you do. You know, it is a dictatorship in curling. Trust me. You could have an opinion, but it's the skip's ultimate word. I always think the best skip is somebody who would rather play every shot. And if the whole team didn't turn up, the skip would know exactly what to do. You know, that's the best way. There are many ways to skin a cat. I'm not suggesting that you do, but there are many ways to solve the problem. That isn't one of them. Stephen Hines making an uncharacteristic error there. Problem just got a little bit bigger. Now Alan will ask Andrew to take that blue and sit for 4 potentially, assuming that he gets it. Has been released at great speed. Listen to the sound. There's no better sound in the world. I'll be quiet. Serves a purpose. It would have been ideal if it stayed, but as it stands, Alan MacDougall still sits 3 in this end. All Greg needs to do is take the centre one out. or draw to a point where it's closer to the centre than the 2 yellows in the white bit of the target. I can't tell if Greg likes that, but he's walking away from it. Hasn't been hogged, but wasn't what was asked. Another uncharacteristic mistake by Stephen Hines. Is the pressure getting to him? It is a final. A relatively new team. Al MacDougall's first stone. The draw is on. There's no guards preventing it. Apart from the one just over the hog, but where Alan MacDougall's looking, it's a pretty open line. An open port, if you will. Could probably park a ship in there. That's a draw weight. That's fine. Past the front guard. With sweeping, it's counting. Lovely. It's all for Greg to do now. My drawing skills have never been very good, but give or take. Look at the red circles. Unless looking to take the yellow and roll, which would make my drawing skills totally inadequate, which is what they're doing. That's okay, but it didn't stay. I'm not saying that the shot that I predicted would have been better, but it's taken one away. There's every possibility that Alan will put it back. And Greg will have one final go at it in this end. Doesn't look especially satisfied with that. Ben Fowler just asking what the tactics are. There's nothing to take out apart from his own. I think that could be slightly heavy. If it's perfect, I'll apologise, which it is. It's slowing now. Perhaps would have been better further to the left-hand side. Who knows? We can only speculate here. The majority of these players are based in the, well, England. You can only assume National Men's Championship, the English Curling Association, but far-fetched as London. Basically, what I'm trying to say in so many words, it's going to be a long drive home after this game. That's why the majority of the other teams have already started. Unfortunately, it's unavoidable. if you make a final, you kind of play, you know. Hang on a minute. Oh, needs to stop. One yellow. Something's picked up there. Definitely one yellow. Just checking on the delay. Ben Fowler. Players already underway in this, the fifth end. So at the beginning of the fifth end, Alan MacDougall's team 5, Greg Dunn's team nothing to speak of yet, but they have the hammer in this end. Something needs to happen for Greg Dunn as Steve Mantics. Goodness me, that was a bit shaky. What happened there? Just as he let the stone go. It could just be his natural delivery. Whatever works, but sadly I don't think that's going to work. In through the front, quick wave, postcard, out the back. Unlucky. Ben Fowler looking to capitalise on that mistake. Sometimes I forget that these players have been playing for 4 days. How would you play after 4 days of 10 end games? That's fine. Not a lot you can say so far. The only noise you can hear is the noise of the only one's eyes, actually, of Alan MacDougall's team and Greg Dunn's team. I'm not quite sure if that adds to the pressure or takes away from it. Needs to get there. Sweepers have been called off. This doesn't have the legs, unfortunately. Doesn't have the pace. The line looked okay. Andy Woolston. That looks like a better delivery. It's over, that's fine. Even a centre line guard wouldn't go amiss there. Which is exactly, well, almost exactly what it is. Slightly off centre. Looks like a better way, but it's equally not going to get there. Guard, although sadly I fear that, well, guard was called by Alan MacDougall, but I fear that Greg Dunn's already sort of, and his rank have already done the job for Alan MacDougall. Something about the game I never really understand. You ask for a guard which isn't designed to, you know, be centre of the house, and then all of a sudden you ask people to, or sweepers, to speed it up. You know? It makes almost no sense, as the sweepers can only maintain the speed of the stone as it was released. Unless somebody brings out the brush with a jetpack attached to it. Greg Dunn and his team need to make something happen here. Harry Mallows, his final stone of this end. It's one away, but it's also taken their own stone away. Using the outside of the front yellow as a guide. Draw has been called. Andrew Reid plays it. Is it heavy enough to be a draw? There's nothing to take out other than his own. That's fine. It's starting to tail off now. That's nice. Not a lot you can say, really. It's a bit of a clinic so far from Alan MacDougall. You could argue that many of Alan MacDougall's games have been clinics. They have won this tournament numerous times before. And unless something happens within the next, I don't know, 2 ends, 3 ends, I sense the end is drawing near. Stephen Hines is the vice. That's 1. And 2. That's well played. What did I say about something needs to happen? That's better. That was well played by Stephen Hines there. Now, apart from tapping up the centre blue, Hackaway hitting hope shot, back ring, that's where Greg Dunn is standing, focusing on his player. Stephen Hines off the back of that fabulous shot, that double takeout. Let's see what Stephen can add to that. It is away, and it is heavy. How do I know it's heavy? Because Stephen got halfway down the ice and it came into shot a lot quicker than normal. Could hit his own, which it has. That's unfortunate. There is a break after the 5th end. Could be the 6th. So just enough time for a quick debrief and team talk. Before we enter the business end of the game. Ends 6 through 10. How many of them we will play, I have no idea. This is the only scheduled game left in the National Men's Championship. So there's no other games to go to, but you can watch the games from Friday onwards this year on our YouTube channel, and I think every day last year. So it's all there. That's a very clever shot. That's a very clever shot. Because, I mean, Greg, as I look at it, can't hit one without hitting a yellow. You know, you'd think that tap the blue, but it would have to go some way for it to become the shot. All these things will be going on in Greg's head. Actions, reactions. gets 2 tries at this one and the next one. He also has the hammer, so he will play the last stone. Although I imagine quite possibly Alan will guard and take the 1. But we'll never know until the stones are released if they'll get there. Greg Dunn. He's went for it. Tap the front blue. Right, that's interesting. So now the blue's counting. Second shot. Don't think. I don't know. Is there a draw on the right hand side as you look at it? There is no way stone is capable of going through that gap. I think they're going to try it anyway and just hope that... I can't really see, to be honest, what Greg would do. There's no easy way in. It would have to be a heck of a draw from either side. So a guard here wouldn't go amiss, but I think they are looking at it. So we will find out. I mean, Greg Dunn's last stone wasn't far away. It was the best that that anybody could have done. No pun intended. To be honest, I can't tell at the moment. They're looking at it. Greg Dunn and Stephen Hines have walked forward to look at it. They obviously think it's going to get to the tee, but they're not ready to brush. So it won't get to the tee. That's a guard stone. That's fine. Guarding the 1. It also means that Greg can't really hit those 2 yellows thanks to that guard. They're having a look at it again. Question is, how hard will Greg have to hit those 2 yellows to get enough momentum into the blue to fire forward? It sounds odd, and you must excuse me, but how much does he have to miss to hit? Do you know what I mean? Like, how big is the margin of error? That sounds far more educated than how much does he have to miss. How big is the margin of error? Looking at it from 3 different angles. The left, the right, the centre. Well, actually 4. What they sort of imagine. It's like bobsleighers who imagine the course in their head going round. Curlers at this level memorise shots. Let's see. Greg Dunn mumbles to his team. Greg Dunn has the last rock, and here it is. Yes! Unlucky. One yellow. Wasn't far away. It was worth having a look at it from 4 different angles. Now there should be a break after the 5th, or is it the 6th end? It's after the 5th. We will see you in about 5 minutes' time. Stay with us.
Alrighty.
Okay, just while play is continuing, we have a guest in the commentary box, John Brown, who is the competitions convener for the ECA, the English Curling Association. John, how has the tournament been so far?
Well, it's been really good. We've got a final this year after last year when we had a bit of a walkover for Alan, more than so this year. Alan's had a bit more to do this year, and obviously Greg has come through, surprisingly perhaps for some people. Mainly for Greg possibly, but they did well last year, and they just stepped up to second place this year. Obviously now in the sixth end of this final, and the way it's going, it looks like Alan may be on his way to his, I think it's his 7th championship win, and if that's the case, he'll be up to Braehead in December for the European Championships, where he'll once again be trying to get out of the B division into the A division for the following year. You'll see also the put a plug in here that Alan's team are sponsored by Barton Grange. This is a garden centre just north of Preston, where a new curling rink is being built, hopefully beginning construction in June for completion in about 18 months, so that for the season after next we will be hoping to have championships and Four Nation Internationals at that Barton Grange rink near Preston. Very handy for the M6, and obviously we hope to attract a new area of curling, a new group of curlers in the Manchester, Liverpool, northwestern area, where I'm sure there are lots of Scottish people who have tried curling before and now find they can't do it. So hopefully in 18 months' time we'll have this second curling rink going in England. Playing against Alan in Greg's team is Stephen Hines, who's also putting together a proposal for a curling rink down near Bracknell, and he is a bit of difficulty with planning people at the moment, but he's currently going to appeal, and hopefully he will get approval for a rink in Bracknell. That'll be 3 sheets down there. So although we're restricted to one rink at the moment, things are looking up, and we hope that sometime in the near future we'll be able to get more people playing curling in England. I mean, you may have noticed there's only some men's teams here this year. For the last few years we've been restricted to having only one women's team entering the competition, which has meant, of course, they go straight to European Championships. But there is rumours down south in Kent of a second team emerging. So maybe next year, when the championship is being played, we'll have some female company for the men to keep them. I don't know what I'm going to say here now. Get out of that one. So people get to make a bit more variety, shall we say. But that's all for me at the moment. I just like to thank the Fries Ice Bowl for providing us with the facilities for the championship, and thank them for the web streaming. I'm probably sure next year we'll try to get some more information to the commentary so that we get some more background on all the players. But in the meantime, thanks very much to the Fries, and back to your commentary.
Thank you very much indeed, John Brown from the English Curling Association. It's a pleasure to hold the tournament here and to have the English players play. Hopefully we will see them next year, and hopefully there'll be more information provided. That's not bad. It was 2 up, it's still 2 up. I wasn't planning on plugging sponsors, but if there's an ice rink built and they invite me down to commentary, we shall see. Hopefully with the information provided, by the way. Andrew Reid, the vice skip, this should be, I think it is. Yep, that's fine. Greg does not know what to do now. I wouldn't know what to do. You're, however many it is down, +6 in the game. I always sort of tell players you've got to think about a magic number. Not that I'm a big sort of aficionado at curling, but I always say to a team that I'm playing with that you've got to think of a magic number, which is a number that you get to, that you shake hands. The able-bodied curling game have gone one step further, actually. Talking about the European rules, and they've carried it over to this tournament as well. If it's not mathematically possible, the umpire will ask you to vacate the ice, I think. It's the most polite way of saying it. And to be perfectly honest with you, I don't think the umpire will need to do much persuading after this game. Greg Dunn could be looking for a trapdoor. John Duff has just commented on our YouTube channel. Sadly, his opinions are, well, they're like mine. They can't get to the players. Nevertheless, good afternoon to you. Thank you for commenting. Guard has been called. Andrew Reid will try to put a guard in here. Although I don't want to repeat myself, but I think that Greg Dunn has done that job for him, unfortunately. Probably be more beneficial asking to draw here. No, guard it is. Centre line, quite possibly. That's a very intelligent stone. If it stops there, which it is going to now. Let's just watch Greg Dunn here for a second. Takes one look at it. And stays there. Two for sure and a measure. I've just noticed the stone at the back of the house and the blue stone at the front. Could be close. That's the stone on the left hand side, the blue one. goodness. Goodness, goodness, goodness. Dearie, dearie me. That's a mistake. I don't want to sound defeatist, but I think that that's a drop in the ocean, really. I could use another term, but it's slightly rude. This could be the final end. No, it's been a pleasure commentating on this tournament. Thank you very much indeed to the English Curling Association and all the teams involved. Hopefully I haven't been too much of a drone. Hopefully we will see them next year. That's light, but it eliminates the opportunity now. Well, I should rephrase that. It eliminates the obvious opportunity. This truly is a Braveheart shot. It's a break for freedom. If Greg can find a trapdoor somewhere. Certainly looking at it. It would have to be sort of war and peace discussion now. Two for sure. Two in a measure. Greg Dunn's got 2 attempts at this. Also has hammer. I know what I would do, but it's not necessarily what Greg would do. And the able-bodied game is slightly different to the wheelchair game. I'd get somebody with power. I'm not saying it's me. To sort of down the centre line, clear as many as you can. Greg Dunn's coming back up the ice. Can we shake hands, I think? Let's have a look. Oh no, forgot the slider. Which begs the question, why is there not a slider at both ends? And then you look at the cost of the sliders. That's why. For those of you who find life financially challenging, it's not a cheap sport really, curling. It is at sort of entry level, but at this level, Greg Dunn going for the Braveheart shot. hard enough. It's unlucky. It's taken one away that wasn't there to start with. Probably the safest thing to do, to put a guard in. I'm in danger of forgetting that these teams have played since Thursday. 10 end games. 2 end games a day, 2 10 end games. It's a lot of curling, even for the biggest of fans and players. Greg Dunn's final stone. Is it his final stone in the game or the final stone in the end? Or are the two linked? It would be a consolation prize if Greg Dunn ended up with one stone close to the centre. That way it wouldn't, the sting wouldn't be as painful, I think. Strong. But it's a learning experience for this new team, albeit of experienced players, but had a chat with them in the lunch break. It's the first time they've played together in a tournament. That's unlucky. They're looking. There's the handshake. It's all over. For the 6th year in a row, Alan MacDougall retains the National Men's Championship. Greg Dunn will fight another day. Well, it's a case of deja vu at the moment. Ben Fowler, Tom Yeagy as well, Andy Wilson, Andrew Reid and Alan MacDougall retain their championship for this year. And that brings to a close our coverage of this year's tournament. We have lots of events coming up here at Dumfries, so keep your eyes peeled on the YouTube curling channel. Dumfries Curling. Tell your friends. For now at least, I've been Michael Greaves McIntosh. Good afternoon.